السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. المنتخب المغربي اللي عامل عظمة وعامل قلق وعامل قلبان ومسيب الركب ومسيب الأعصاب وعامل خضة لكل المنتخبات الكبيرة. ده مش من فراغ، المصنف الخامس عالميا. بقى كل الصحف وكل الأخبار بتتكلم عن المنتخب المغربي ومباراة هولندا القادمة. هنشوف النهاردة مع بعض آراء الجماهير وآراء النقاد الأمريكية والمكسيكية والكندية في كل الدنيا، ازاي بيتكلموا وازاي شايفين المباراة القادمة بين هولندا وبين المنتخب المغربي. طبعا الإجابة كانت قوية جدا 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 وساحقة جدا 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 جدا. كلام كبير، كلام خطير، كلام مهم، لكن أسود الأطلس ما بتهبش حد ولا بتعتمد حد، واللي بيجي على الرجل بياخد بوش الرجل. تعالوا نروح نسمع ونشوف الآراء والكلام كان على ايه، ونرجع تاني علشان لسه اللي جاي طلق حي والخفاش ما بيهداش.
I don't know if we are the favourites in the match against Morocco. That's one thing. Two is that we know that will happen if we win against Morocco. We'll have to prepare well for Morocco first because it will be a tough match. It's a good team with individual qualities and with scoring ability. So that's what he had to say after the game on playing Morocco. So after the winning group, it doesn't get much easier for the Netherlands. So they'll have to face Morocco. Japan have a tough matchup in the round of 32, facing five-time champions Brazil. Sweden have advanced from the groups as one of the best third-place teams, and they're most likely to face France or possibly Norway. Chris, do you think it's a worse set of potential opponents in that group there?
Yeah, I think you look at everyone that those teams have to play. Netherlands finished top. They've got to play Morocco. Japan finishes runner-up. They've got to go play Brazil, and Sweden finished third. They've probably got to go play France. So of any of the groups at the World Cup, the way that it got drawn, these are probably the teams that are incredibly unlucky. I think these are probably, it's certainly in Netherlands and Japan's case, teams that can reasonably expect to reach a quarterfinal with a better draw. I think they've been that good so far in this tournament. Japan's goal in that game was absolutely fantastic. And then the Netherlands, I think, have really improved as the tournament has gone on. So I think you look at these matchups, they're incredibly difficult. Morocco making a semifinal. I think if you're asking me who in that game, I would make the Netherlands slight favorites. I think Morocco just lose that little bit, particularly with Ezalzouli out because of injury. I think Morocco have just been that little bit less than I expected, but still, it's an incredibly difficult match for the Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands putting up 10 goals in these group stages. Haven't done so since 2014, long time.
Yeah, I think they've surpassed expectation in that regard, but I think the beauty of it is where the goals have come from, and it's been all over the pitch. That's what you need at a World Cup. You need everyone to absolutely step up, but I think it's something to say for Morocco coming into that game, though, and being favourites. Nobody would have called that 5-6 years ago. So the improvement that they've had, obviously semi-finalists in the last World Cup. So the amount of rotations they made against Haiti, though, I think in conceding multiple goals might hit them a little bit. So they need to be absolutely on it. But I think from a player perspective, Saibari has been a standout for Morocco. He's been brilliant. But Netherlands all round have definitely improved. I think especially, I keep talking about Van Dijk, but the season he had to step up at a major tournament, there's been a huge difference, and getting a goal for himself as well. So tight game this one, right? We said off
100%. And I've been pushing the Morocco narrative for a long while now. I was interested to see how they would transition, especially now you're talking about a new manager that only got appointed really on March 5th of this year. But everything I've seen from Mohamed Webia so far has really showcased to me that not only does he have a pulse of that team, especially what you've seen in their transitions. I thought their performance against Brazil in the group stage was really did showcase that Morocco is a nation that no longer can be slept on. And it was interesting to see in terms of the dynamic because, the surprise package of 2022 is one aspect when you're hunting people down. No one really has a good pulse as to who you are, and maybe you're surprising people with momentum as the tournament goes on. But now this conversation has switched from being the hunters to the hunted. There's no more surprises as to who they are. We've seen them in terms of whether you classify them as champions or finalists in AFCON, what they've done already there. What they've showcased in terms of the world-class talent they have in Hakimi and Saibari, who we've already spoken about, who's had a great tournament both leading their lines respectively, and even one of them making a move. So that really does showcase where Morocco is overall as a nation. And I don't really believe that we should be doubting them anymore. I do agree, and that's what Chris said.
ربنا يكملها على خير يا رب يا رب يا رب تكمل على خير. المنتخب المغربي بقى هو المادة الخام للفرحة، الفرحة العربية والفرحة الإفريقية مش بس المغربية، المادة الخام للمتعة الكروية، المادة الخام للعب، اللعب الممتع اللي يمتعك ويسحرك ويخطفك ويبهرك ويجيبك ويوديك وفي بحر الأحلام يا حبيبي يرميك. هو ده المنتخب المغربي اللي بقى كل بيعمل له حساب ومليون حساب. تعالوا نكمل ونرجع تاني.
There are absentees, especially within this squad, in the final third that have magic moments and has one-off maybe opportunities to kind of win a game by themselves. But what I would say is that Morocco as a team have been the embodiment of consistency over the last couple of years. And they find ways to win games, not necessarily the most fluid way like they were in 2022. But what I'd see now is that they really understand how to manage games of football and also how to implement themselves. So I actually give them rightfully so the favourite tag in going into this, and I do think they will be progress past the Netherlands.
Chris, who do you think has the edge in this one?
Yeah, so I think we're going to go kind of position by position in the group. So I believe we're going to start with the defense and goalkeeper. So this is a really interesting one because I think going into the tournament, you look at the Netherlands' defense on paper, it's superb. It's Dumfries, Van Hecke, Van Dijk, and Van de Ven with Verbruggen in goal, but they've given away more. I'm still going to give the edge, though, to the Netherlands because, not necessarily because of their defensive work, because of how much they've added going forward. Van Dijk has contributed a goal. We saw Van Hecke get one in the Tunisia game as well. Dumfries, I think, is a massive part of their attack going forward. He's an incredibly creative player. So I'm going to give the edge to the Netherlands in terms of defense. In terms of midfield, if we're including Saibari as part of that midfield, obviously he's more of an attack-minded player, but he kind of plays as a number 10. I'm going to say that the midfield actually is that little bit better for Morocco, even though they've got some good names, Netherlands, in terms of Gravenberch, de Jong, and Reinders. It's a good group of players, but I still like the way that Morocco actually express their identity through their midfield.
No, I couldn't agree more. Between Brahim Diaz, Bouadi, and Morocco are standouts for me in that sense.
Yeah.
Bouadi, number one. I think the experience he showed throughout this tournament, composure on the ball, always creating space for himself.
Did you making a face?
I'm just saying, for me,
Over Netherlands.
I mean, who's the Netherlands midfielder? Just so I can get this right. Gravenberch,
de Jong, and Reinders.
Okay, all right.
It's a great group of players.
That is a phenomenal. I think that midfield.
Though?
Yeah, I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. I do think Bouadi has been fantastic. I think what he showcased in this World Cup. And Brahim Diaz is another one that I think definitely owes the Moroccan people a moment after the Paninka in the final. But what I would say is I'm not going to count across that. The Netherlands midfield has experience, has pace, has balance. I think if they are going to talk about one strong point of their team, the centre midfield is their best asset.
Yeah, and then we get to the attack, which has been fantastic at this World Cup so far. So I'm actually going to give the advantage in the attack to the Netherlands because Brian Brobby, I think, is an answer that they have found in the center of that forward line, which I think has been very good. Cody Gakpo has been inconsistent, but I still think he's obviously a very talented player. And then off that right side, whether it is Somerville or Daniel Malen, I think that is another really good group of players for the Netherlands. And then we'll go to intangibles. Intangibles is obviously a tough one to identify. I don't know. I think I'm actually going to give this to the Netherlands. The way that the Orange Army has started off in terms of getting behind the team, the marches to the stadium, the level of atmosphere that they've provided to these games. I think they've been very good in providing that fan support. I think there's some reasonable vibes around the team with the Netherlands. I think they've grown into the tournament as well. So I'll give them the advantage in tangibles. And also in terms of the manager, even though Ronald Koeman gets a lot of criticism, I do think that...
What has he proven to be given the nod as a manager?
What has the Morocco manager proven?
Okay, what's Ronald Koeman proven?
The Morocco manager is in charge of his sixth game at the world, in charge of Morocco.
And he's won things at youth level though. With a similar group. Okay, so I'll go back to my initial question. What has Ronald Koeman, not the legend, not the player,
Ronald Koeman got them to the quarterfinals of the Euros.
إن شاء الله بإذن الله نعدي المباراة اللي جاية دي وإن شاء الله هنعديها على خير، بس قولوا يا رب يا رب يا رب هنعديها على خير إن شاء الله. والمنتخب المغربي قادر وقدها وقد اللي أكبر منها. إحنا عاملين فعلا طفرة في الكورة في العالمية. المنتخب ده بقى يتصنف من من المنتخبات الكبيرة، المنتخبات العالمية، المنتخبات اللي كتبت اسمها بحروف من ذهب وألماظ وسط المنتخبات الكبيرة، المنتخبات العريقة. علشان كده المنتخب المغربي ما بيهموش أسامي، يلعب برازيل، يلعب أرجنتين، يلعب فرنسا، يلعب أسبانيا، يلعب بلجيكا، يلعب زي ما يلعب، إن شاء الله يلعب فرق أو منتخبات نازلة من المريخ، هياخدهم ويشويهم ويرصهم على السيخ. تعالوا نسمع ونرجع تاني.
Like they performed well at that tournament.
Okay.
So you're going to go with a completely unproven manager as being better than Ronald Koeman.
What?
That's a fair
I'm
point.
going with the guy that knows this group of players, and this is what annoys me about football managers. And this isn't just a Ronald Koeman thing. This is the same thing I heard with John Terry talking earlier. Your player stage has nothing to do with what you've proven as a manager, right? And what has he proven as a manager? I've seen a number of failures from Ronald Koeman as a head coach. He's actually very lucky to still have this job. Even the second time round, for me, I really showcases the shortcoming of Dutch managers in terms of the pipeline that they trust. But what has he proven so far as a manager or a head coach, as a Netherlands head coach, to showcase that he's better than what's sitting
I think he's go on.
He's proven something that he's been kept in the job.
Say it again one more time.
Proving something has been kept in the job and not getting fired, considering the amount of managers that do get fired in modern football. That would be my one thing I would say to that.
But Jen, is he not getting fired because of his name and because of what he produced, or what he's actually done? Because I look at the players that's been across his table that he's had in both his tenures as a Netherlands head coach, and for me, he's been extremely disappointing. He has been extreme for the quality that he's had at his array, for what he's actually produced. He's been extremely disappointing.
Why do you think he stays in it then?
Because I think Netherlands has got this real.
Just like
they've got this real narrative around them where they're so scared because they haven't won it yet. It's like they almost want to beat the monkey off their back with the people that have kind of paved the way for them. So they'll give extra chances to the Koemans of this world, the Bergkamps if you ever wanted to get into it, the Mark Overmarses, because they look at that like that's the golden generation that put them on a completely different plateau, your Ruud Hullets. But I ask myself, so if I'm taking you individually as some of those people, what have they done from a coaching perspective? Ronald Koeman is very lucky. He's very, very lucky for what he's produced.
الآن أخواني نكون قد وصلنا لنهاية الفيديو، وكنتمنى يكون المقطع قد نال إعجابكم. متنساوش تدعمونا بزر الإعجاب، كذلك الاشتراك في القناة وتفعيل زر الجرس باش توصلوا بجديد القناة أول بأول. وما تنساوش كذلك تخلوا آراء ديالكم واستفسارات ديالكم واقتراحات ديالكم أسفل الفيديو في خانة التعليقات حول ما قاله الإعلام الأجنبي عن المواجهة القوية اللي غتجمع بين المنتخب المغربي والمنتخب الهولندي، وهي مواجهة قوية جدا بين المنتخبين يعتبروا مرشحين للذهاب لأبعد نقطة في المونديال. كذلك أخواني خلوا الآراء ديالكم حول نتيجة المباراة المتوقعة، وكذلك حول ما قاله ضيوف البرنامج. ونتلاقاو إن شاء الله في فيديو قادم وموضوع جديد.
لا تقول لي كبير ولا صغير، المنتخب المغربي كبير ويحير. المتعة الكروية، المنتخب المغربي إن شاء الله يعبر المباراة القادمة. وشفنا نقاط كبار ومدربين ولاعيبه الكوره ونجوم كبار بيتوقعوا المنتخب المغربي ان شاء الله باذن الله في الفاينل، في النهائي ان شاء الله باذن الله يوصل لها، وهو قدها واكبر منها ومن ابوها كمان. عايزين نفرح، عايزين ننبسط، عاوزين نمشي في الدنيا، يعني نرفع راسنا شويه وسط الكره العالميه. ده املنا الوحيد اللي بيمتعنا وعامل لنا قيمه وعامل لنا حساب وعامل لنا اعتبار في وسط الكبار، في وسط الكوره العالميه. نقف لحظه واحده عند الشماتين المولعين المفلفلين المحروقين اللي بيقولوا مش هنشجع المنتخب المغربي او بيتضايقوا من فوزه. ليه بتتضايق يا حبيبي؟ انت ليه بتتضايق انت وهو؟ طب ما تتعلم منه واعمل زيه ووصل للي وصل له، ووصل لابعد منه. لكن انت مش قادر، ما تبقاش بليد، طالب بليد وخايب وبتعايب على صاحبك اللي جاب 90% وانت جايب 1%، يا ساقط يا فاشل. بتعايب على مين؟ وللي بيقول مش هشجع المنتخب المغربي مالوش عندي غير جملة واحدة بس. ايه هي يا شيكا يا ابو الشكاشيك يا متشكشك؟ هي كلمة واحدة بس هقول له: ان شاء الله عنك ما شجعت. سلام.